Chapter 43 The City's Secrets. When last met, Maybe-It's Menagerie were about to leave Tegris's office when she remembered something. While she didn't have all the information on every missing person on hand, she still had a file readily available on the 3 people who went missing most recently. The first was Tessara Amara, a 24-year-old half-elf female that disappeared a month ago. The next was Raphael Tugrove, a 26-year-old human man that disappeared 2 months ago, who was part of a notable store in the town that his family owned. The final was El Hark Nero, a 682-year-old elven man who disappeared 4 months ago. They all had families that gave reports on their respective disappearances, but if the party wanted to start looking, these 3 were their best bet. Eager for any sort of lead, they got directions for the families and had headed off to the Amari family first. In a sectioned off part of town, the party found the Amari's home and were welcomed in by an elven woman by the name Nelen, Tessara's mother, then introduced to the rest of the family, These and Rio, Tessari's father and brother respectively. These told the party everything he knew about his daughter's disappearance, how she went out to get groceries for her family from the local market and never returned. While she had no one that hated her, she still felt like a bit of an outsider after returning from her pilgrimage 3 years ago, a coming-of-age tradition in Thelma and Murad. Her pilgrimage was uneventful from what they were told, the only thing of note being a furbolg lady Tessara was fond of in Port Tora of Meridian. Before her pilgrimage and after she returned, she typically frequented the farmers section of markets and was good friends with the farmer woman Umi Peria before her pilgrimage, but the two have been a bit distant since. After being prompted by Kino, These let the menagerie explore Tessara's room for any lead. Inside, it was untouched, dust beginning to build up, and some plants beginning to wilt from lack of attention since her disappearance. Even some books on gardening and herbology were left open on her desk, like she was planning to return at any minute to finish. Investigating further, she had some books set aside on Meridian's past, the country's relationship with Murad, and a guide on currencies of the world. Strangely, the books she had bounced between Common, Elvish, Gnomish, Halfling, and Dwarvish with little rhyme or reason, prompting These to explain his daughter's fascination and admiration for different languages. Being thorough, Kino cast some magic and found the entire building to be mundane, save for the tokens of good faith everyone held, and the crest of good standing the Amara family were given on account of their time living in the city. With Tessara's token of good faith not returning to the guards, These felt his daughter was still in the city, but did admit that Tessara did eventually want to return to Meridian. They just expected not to happen for another few years. Additionally, his family and the guards already looked in all the places she frequented with no leads or clues found. With nothing else, he got his family sketch and showed it to the group so that they could have an idea on who to look out for. Perkering made sure to copy a sketch of the image before leaving to investigate the market out of town she said she was going to before her disappearance. When they arrived, the market was bustling with its normal traffic, full of more Kenku than the party had seen before, and after a short amount of looking, they found Umi Peria at her stall. When questioned about Tessara's disappearance, she lamented how her friend seemed normal. She looked like she was gathering ingredients at the market, then planned on going home. Given the typical traffic, Umi did not know if Tessara went further into the market after shopping at her stall and encouraged the party to look into it more. After questioning several other shopkeepers, they pieced together that after visiting Umi, Tessara did go home, but wasn't seen returning at her town. Following the path back, it was a normal path with nothing obvious. Any clues should have already been found by the guards, so the party decided to continue their search to Raphael Tugrove in hopes to find any connections between the disappearances. After a short walk to one of the nicer parts of Sabala, they found themselves in front of a nicer home, and after knocking on the door, were greeted by Raphael's brother Lou, who was quick to let the menagerie in and escorted them to his grandmother Vasily so they could give any information to help find Raphael. The two corroborated that the last time he was seen was during a normal dinner, then he disappeared overnight. Though no morning after, no one was particularly concerned as Raphael was known to go on walks at strange times, so when he wasn't in his room and the front door was unlocked, that was their first guess as to where he was. After waiting a few hours, they then let the guards know, and nothing was found. With the guards calling off the search after some time, his parents went out of town to look for leads, and they were expected to return sometime this week. Curious if Raphael had any motive to leave, the menagerie asked to search his room for clues, and they were led to an untouched room. On the desk, there were some still open books with no signs of struggle anywhere. Various notes and plans that illustrated the idea that he was getting ready to take over his family's business, looking for ideas and room to expand, eagerly wanting to continue where his family started. Kino also used his magic to see if there was anything hiding or if a trail was left, and there was nothing. The only magical items in the house were everyone's tokens of good faith. With the investigation winding down and the day getting later, Kino had an idea. He asked to see a photo of Raphael, which Kino made sure to sketch, and started writing a letter to him. Once it was written, he stepped outside, folded it into a bird with his magic, and let it soar to its recipient westward. Kino then used his magic to shape himself into an elk, and gave chase while Leste atop Kaun followed in the air. The rest of the menagerie was a bit lethargic to follow, so instead, they followed at a casual pace into the general direction the three of them darted off to. The paper bird flew off towards the western reef, approaching the edge of town and the clearing of the forest, when abruptly, the bird lurched down and rested on the ground. Kino's first thought was that maybe the Yazoo could be held up in the islands, but after what she experienced in Hala, Leste was convinced they were underground. There had to be some caves or unnatural formations that the locals knew of where the Yazoo were hiding. As they were investigating, though, they were interrupted by a scream off in the distance eastward. The three yet again raced off, but found nothing except for the rest of their party finally catching up. Leste was now in a panic, concerned that the Yazoo were trying to distract them and throw them off their trail, so they needed to move fast. They all raced towards the guard outpost and rushed to Tegris, demanding to be shown any caves west of town. She knew of one offhand, but it collapsed about a month ago, just a week before Tessara's disappearance. Still concerned about time more than anything, Leste demanded they get shown where the cave was, and Tessara rushed to show them. On the way, she explained how the kids and teenagers used this place as a hideout, but it was clear that the structure would not last, so any reasonable person steered clear long before the collapse. Closer to the coast, they were shown the entrance, large debris and rubble blocking off the mall. It was completely sealed and not stable. Moving a single rock would clearly worsen the collapse. Stressed, Leste asked if there was another entrance, but Tessara knew of none. The only person that did likely were local geologists, but considering how it was rapidly approaching night, getting a hold of one would be difficult. Leste then encouraged Tessara to head back and find someone while the party stayed and evaluated other options. Only the menagerie present now, Leste decided to throw subtlety to the wind and brute force her way into the cave. Further up, past the collapse, she found what looked like sturdy rock, took out a piton and hammer, and got to work breaking stone. With every swing, she got closer to making a new entrance while Kino helped clear her path by moving loose stone with magic. After about an hour straight, she made a hole big enough for herself, so she crawled in and tackled the excavation from the inside until a hole big enough for everyone was made. Now with everyone inside, they saw children's drawings lining the unlit cave, and Kino noticed a shattered glyph of warding, likely imploded in the collapse. With that, let us continue.